Hey guys, and welcome back to another tips and tricks video. This time we're looking at heroic Kurog Grimtotem. This is where the challenge of the raid really begins. Again, like the other bosses, this is quite a significant DPS check. However, it's all single target on this boss. So this boss just requires a great understanding and execution of the mechanics while not dying. Before I start, I'm not sure if this matters, but the order and sections we did was fire, then frost, then earth, then storm. We'll relook at that at the end of the video. That just seemed to work for us, and just please ignore my face. I only just realized after watching back the footage. I think I was super tired that night. The next morning I had to start work at 3 a.m, which just made it worse. So yeah, just please ignore the squinting. I'm like, yeah, okay. Alright, so let's begin here. So we're starting off in the fire section of the room. The tank is going to pull it back there. So the abilities that are in play here are the random fire circles, the fire lines, and the Searing Carnage, which is now pretty much a one-shot in Heroic. There's no coming back from it, because it does put a huge dot on you. So this phase is pretty easy until you get the Searing Carnage, since you're pretty much moving from shit. Similar to the Storm phase we can see later on. So we're just waiting for the Searing Carnage. Comes in 10 seconds. So the movement for the Searing Carnage is really important. First off, do not get in the tank's way. That's a good way to get them killed. Second, don't move early. As soon as you see the fire circles under you, that's when you move, not a moment before. Third, I'd advise you not to use any movement speed increases, because you'll be covering more of the room in fire, and you'll possibly leave people behind, which will kill them. And lastly, don't crisscross or run sideways with the fire, because that will also kill people. Anyway, oh yeah, okay, let's go back. So this phase here, the frost phase, is probably where you can have most of your wipes. So the frost section, you'll still have the soaks, and you'll have the frigid torrent, which I'm about to die to. And I'll be honest, this was not my night. I think we downed Teros, Senath, and Kurog himself for the first time. And when this was recorded, I was just so freaking tired. But that was still a big fuck up on my part. I even apologized to our raid leader afterwards, because I am a trial for this team. So I got to do everything that I can to convince them that I'm not shit. But that was not a really good night for me. Anyway, I'm moving off topic here. So they play out the balls. Yeah, I was so frustrated. Because we were dying, and I wasn't the only one dying to this. Yeah, it was just a new thing. This was a new boss for us. So I think they are going to res me here after the soaks, or I think after the second Fringe Torrent, I can't remember. But it was at this point where I just wanted to make it safe. So when the balls come out, it was at a point where I just decided I wasn't going to bother with the DPS and avoid the balls at the same time. So I just ran out until they stopped, which is actually okay as a red paladin, because most of your abilities is ranged, except for your Crusader Strike and Templar's Verdict, unless you turn it into Final Verdict, which I probably should have done. Okay, so we're going to get the intermission now. So the add priority, depending on what order you did, Frost above all others, then Earth, then Storm, then Fire. I'll explain why in a moment. So right here we get the Frost and the Fire. So Frost takes top priority because of all the damage that it does, and the interrupts that needs to go out. So that just makes it really annoying.
We can move them a little bit out of that fire, please.
For everyone, and the Earth circles is the main reason why you want to kill the Earth one for the second lot. Again, depends on what order you did. So for this Frost ad, you want to nuke it as soon as possible, because the Tempest can really easily kill people, even if you're standing in the safe zone, I guess. And for the fire ad, it's not that annoying. It just leaves a little bit of fire behind everyone, and it spawns ads that need to be cleaved down and stunned. Because I believe they do something, but I can't remember what it was. They just died so freaking quickly. But yeah, the fire ad is easily manageable. We do kill one at a time here, because I think in normal we tried to cleave both ads down, but it didn't seem to be worth it. The damage was just ramping up.
Push up these ads.
Okay, we're going to move to the Earth section. Okay, so this is where it can get a little bit tricky. So you can't actually stay in the Earth section for as long as you did for the other ones. That's purely because the boss doesn't even fucking move half the time. So unless you can time it right on 15 stacks of the Earth dominance, as we did on this pool, get your tanks to be standing in the Storm section after he does the first Earth rings. And of course cleave the ads when they come up or when they're stacked. Another reason is that the healing absorb really fucking hurts. So this is why I save my lay on hands normally, but even that doesn't fully get rid of it. I didn't use my thing on it, I don't know why. So we get ads, so by now the boss will want to be in the Storm section.
Yeah, can we get Mystrix tricks on these ads? Like, what's going on here?
Okay, so the ads still need to die because they are quite annoying. Okay, now the Storm section is probably the easiest one to deal with, since you just gotta run out those circles and then soak the smaller circles. Difficult? I think not. But this does mean that he will go into the second intermission shortly.
Lightning Crush, get ready.
Yeah, so those are all the soaks. People with high mobility definitely want to get those further soaks. I'm not sure if like putting the boss right in dead center in the pillar will make this the spawn points easier, more manageable, but I don't know. It's always worth a try, I guess. If you can absolutely kill him before the second intermission, which is actually quite beneficial, because then you don't have to deal with the Earth ad. Excuse me, I'm really tired. It's 8 AM in the morning. I'm recording this. Okay, so now we have the second intermission. So we've got the Earth and the Storm ad. The Earth ad must die super fast. The amount of room he covers with the Earth shit is ridiculous. As you see, it really is going mad. Because it can easily cut off people, which is where the lethal current comes in, because it pulses AoE damage to anyone nearby and the target it's targeted on. So I think somewhere here I get really low, so I use my lay on hands, which actually worked better. Wait, who is that? Oh, that was our raid leader. Oh man. Okay, yeah, so because of that, this does definitely make it a bit more difficult to move around.
Oh, it's on me. Weird.
Oh yeah, and the tank gets targeted with the lethal car. I don't know why.
You didn't?
Nope. I'm moving them back.
No, you're fine. You can move them around the room. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but where are we bringing the boss?
Okay, these circles are so annoying. Oh yeah, this is where I use my lay on hands here, because the circles are just getting really out of control. And I think it's because of the pulses of both the lethal current and the stacks of the storm dominance or something, or just the damage that is naturally given out while the ad is up. So 10 stacks is looking pretty dangerous, but it's almost dead, so we just try and kill it as soon as possible.
Yeah, don't save them for the boss here.
Okay, so when we kill the two ads, we're gonna stay in the fire section until the boss dies.
Yeah, you take the
Excuse me, because the fire section is pretty easy to deal with. And at this point, we just want to make sure that no one dies. Semi-Carnage can still kill people. But the boss comes out with 50% health, and it's pretty much a free win. It's basically if you have the damage, you can get through the earth section, and you can get through the earth section with minimal deaths. You should be able to kill this easily.
Okay, sweet. Yeah.
So I get oh no, it's not seeing carnage. I think we do get to see carnage at the end. In this case, if the boss's health is at like 2% during a certain carnage, you still have to dodge it. But realistically, the boss will die during seeing carnage, which I think is what happened here in a second.
Get ready to move.
So we get seeing carnage
Finish the boss off.
and dead.
Well done.
Hell yes. Huge.
So that is the fight. I actually really like her. This is probably my favourite boss in the raid. Actually, now that I think about it, if you want to, you could actually start on the Earth section on Pole, where all the big healing spells are up for all the absorbs, then move to Storm, and then Fire, then Frost. That might actually be better, because it also feels like you get less time in whichever section you pick up last. It's like you're there for 10 seconds and then the boss goes immune. I don't know. I don't think that's how it is, but that's just how it felt doing it. So anyway, that is it for Kurog Grimtotem. There's one more coming. Oh, there's two more coming actually. We've got Dithia and Diona. We have not killed Razageth. I don't think we will kill Razageth for a little bit until we get our team get up a little bit, since it is pretty hectic. So that's all I have. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.